This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. We are entering the blood dimension tonight here on the Halloween edition of the Troll Patrol. Now, I don't have anything special planned. We just got news, spooky news. I did start a poll, however. It's going to be going on for like the next 10 minutes. We're going to do a spooky video game stream after the actual news rundown. So far, the vote is for Five Nights at Freddy's, which apparently isn't all that spooky. But I thought it'd be a good game for me to be able to, you know, make jokes about, do commentary and shit. We do one of the Dark Pictures anthology games. No Hope or Man of Medan are the two I have. I don't have the other one that like came out a year ago or so. I don't even know what it's called. Or we can do RE3 Remake. I've downloaded it. I've been playing RE6 with my buddy. What we've been playing for this spooky week. Because he's never played it before. I played it once, but it was like a decade ago, so I don't remember shit about it. Because, you know, me and my memory. One of the cool things. I have no fucking memories, so if I wait a couple years, watch or play a video game, watch a movie or play a video game again, it's like a fresh experience. So I can know, like, hey, I really like this movie, but I don't remember shit about it, and watch it and be like, oh, shit, yeah. Surprising. I forgot all about this shit. Play a video game, be surprised all over again at the twists. So it's a blessing and a curse, I guess. I ain't high enough for this shit. I'm going to end the stream tonight with pets and costumes. Phoebe! Goody, are you the only one that said anything? No Warlord? No RB? Well. Who would have thunk it? Phoebe in first. Well, good evening, and good evening to the lurkers. What do we have on tap for news? It's apparently a rumor right now, but it appears that British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is headed for a vote of no confidence. Tory MPs are upset and are already drafting letters, but this is just a rumor, and we're going to go to a very tabloid-esque site for this rumor. We're talking about the Supreme Court. Justices taking up a case dealing with affirmative action. Apparently, Judge Samuel Alito took a dig at Elizabeth Warren during arguments. I know you're here. You're like, RB and Warlord usually comment before the countdown ends. Like, usually Warlord is the very first person to comment. I know you're here a lot, Phoebe, and I love you for it. I'm just saying that usually, before I'm even on, RB is like, weed! And then pops over to Twitch and goes, Twitch weed! I bet, like, can you see? I was fucking around. So, this is the last night with this look. Troll Patrol changes tomorrow. This whole layout, gone. The whole Facebook look, gone. So I was playing around with it, doing some last checks before the show. And I noticed you could see in the chat, like, where I had been leaving messages, because I was wanting to see what the chat looked like on screen. I feel this layout is holding me back, so we go to a new layout tomorrow. I almost busted it out a few days ago before the Herschel Walker, Raphael Warnock debate. I'm sure you're not the worst player. There's bound to be somebody out there worse than you. That sounds horrible. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Phoebe. My apologies. Somebody should shout you out, though. Does somebody have that command set up? Hold on. Do I have that command set up? We'll make that happen. Are you playing right now? You are playing right now. Give Phoebe a watch here while I get shit set up. You say this is Overwatch? I don't know that I've played Overwatch. What's hilarious is I don't really know how to do this. It took me forever last night to remember how to get back to Nightbot to set shit up. But I think I could do it real fast right now because I did do it last night.
Let's get back to it.
Oh god. Oh god. I bet you have no fucking clue what's going on right now, do you?
Score 1-1.
There we go. Boom.
Sombra, something is wrong with my phone. It is so slow.
I'm not tech support, big guy.
I'm not tech support, big guy.
I'm just not very good with computers.
Have you tried turning it off and on?
Just firing into the abyss.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 3.
Boom. Nobody else gonna take care of it. I'll take care of it.
System compromised.
Go follow Phoebe. Go. Watch her play Overwatch. We're going to do a little bit of news. Just a little news as a treat. Just a little bit. And then we're going to do spooky stream. I gotta get high first, though. I gotta get high. Where is Warlord? I wanted to ask Warlord about Hershey chocolate, if he's ever had Hershey chocolate. Because, this is the thing. I always wondered why I never liked Hershey chocolate. Never thought it tasted like vomit, but I'm not a fan. I'd rather have a Cadbury or a Ghirardelli. American kids every Halloween having to endure their vomit chocolate. Apparently to people in other countries, Hershey chocolate tastes like vomit. Something about the chemical preservative they have in it or some shit from back in World War II. I don't remember the story, but it was some shit they put in it. It's also like it's a chemical that's in your vomit. But it was to preserve the chocolate during the war, and after the war, the soldiers still clamored for it, and that is how Hershey took off in post-war days. Apparently, I don't know. I'm probably fucking up the story. Don't trust me. I'm not reading right now. I'm not reading from anything. Possibly we'll get somebody call in, or we'll get somebody hop in the Discord, because I've been trolling today, and a lot of people have had a lot of things to say to me. Not a lot of substance, though. Like I keep telling them, if you actually want to have a conversation, if you want to talk to me, fucking call in. I don't want to have to respond to the fucking books you're writing in my comment section. Just call me. Because here's the thing, is I get accused of interrupting people a lot, but if I interrupt people, it's usually to say, wait a minute, what's your proof for that claim you made way back there? I hate it when people try to, like, overload information. Like, make a million claims. Like, no, let's take this one at a time. I want to hone in on what you just fucking said, because I don't think that's right. Oh, shit, DM. Fucking idiot. No! I don't let people... No, if you said something wrong, I'm gonna stop you right there, because I can't fucking remember. Because you're gonna say fucking 50 other things that are wrong. And my stoner ass isn't going to be able to remember. Why don't you make one fucking claim instead of trying to gish gallop? Left-wing Alex Jones. How do you even come to that conclusion that I am a left-wing Alex Jones? What conspiracy theories do I throw out there? What fucking stupid shit do I say? What is up, Ray? Usually the Simpsons Treehouses of Horror are pretty good. Okay, first of all, I didn't debate you. This isn't you need to get that through your thick fucking skull. You are not able to debate. You don't know about the rules for logical inference. You want to get up here and you want to make fallacious arguments. It's that kid. Oh, Professor Q, you might not have been here for this. This kid is upset about unions because he can't audition for his favorite anime. Even though he has no portfolio, he has no reel, he has no fucking talent. He feels that he should be able to audition for some furry anime that he jacks off to. Seriously. And he thinks I debated him, but everybody in the chat was like, dude, you should be taking notes from Justin. He's giving you valuable advice. But this kid wanted to try to tell me what for. And he keeps doing it. He's in the Discord. He doesn't chime in as much as he used to. Because I keep calling him an idiot and shit. I know, Professor Q. It's like the kid doesn't want to put in the work. He has right-wing beliefs because of a personal aggrievement. Yeah, exactly. How hard is it to get into voiceover? Good. Okay, you went to Fiverr. Jesus. He's been wanting to tell me that too for some reason. Yeah, you've had right-wing opinions since you were shitting in diapers. I'm aware, you fucking idiot. Right-wingers are goddamn morons that say the dumbest goddamn shit. I'm not gonna go through it too long clinically. We've got news and a spooky stream to do. We're gonna do a spooky. The vote should still be open, or maybe it closed already. See the results. Nobody probably voted. Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's wins. It's all fun and games tonight. I just DM, man. Fucking listen. Listen to people. Don't be so sure of your opinions about shit you know fuck all about. I'm fucking tired, and like this dude, I was arguing with this dude earlier today. Like, he said specifically for the Azov battalion, but in general for Ukraine proxy war, all I did was call Tucker a white supremacist. And I got this fucking book. I got this book of shit back. And the reason why he wrote a book back was because I cited a Rolling Stone piece that said, can you tell the difference between this white supremacist? Or no, it was like, did a white supremacist say it or did Tucker Carlson say it? He was like, oh, Rolling Stone is an imperialist magazine and blah, blah, blah. Azov battalion. Yeah, 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 yeah. And before I even finished reading it, I was like, oh, buddy, you're a Jimmy Dore fan, aren't you? And the motherfucker said it. The motherfucker said it right there. So I did actually break it down for him. I wrote a very succinct reply where I'm like, you guys just, you want to vote once and then throw up your hands like, oh, they didn't do what they said they wanted to do. Blah, blah, blah. Tell them how to get the fuck on the show. What? What, buddy? I'm high as fuck and I am still far better spoken and far more intelligent than you are. So why do you have an issue with me being high? Well, you should try not fucking talking about shit that you know nothing about. How do you know I haven't had absinthe? I'm guaranteeing you that none of us have had the actual shit because the chemical is fucking illegal in the U.S. But it's a fucking corporate product here. And why would you even tell me to try? Like, why would you come in here and tell me to try anything? Who the fuck are you? You little punk ass kid. Oh my God.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes, all of you are fucking stupid. It is a burden talking to idiots like you. Oh my God. I want to get to the video games. Let's do the news and get to the video games. I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm excited. Content warning on this one. We've got video from India that may make you piss yourself. Bridge in western India collapses, killing at least 141 people. This is just a couple. If that's you, DM, I swear to fucking God. It is, isn't it? Is this DM?
Yes, it is. How do you do, everybody?
I ain't got time for his bullshit tonight. Content warning. We have video from West. No, I hung up on him. Professor Q, you haven't been here for the other 3 times he's been on. And he went on with producer Dave the other night. Dave said, I'll give you 10 minutes and then we're moving on. And then he gets to 10 minutes like, all right, I'll give you another 10 minutes, but that's it. And then we're going back to the QAnon conference. There's Warlord. Good evening. I was wondering where you were at. We haven't really got started yet though. I hung up on DM. That's all that happened. He sounded so happy too. He's like, "Hello everybody." Click. Ain't got time for it tonight. We're gonna get to the Five Nights at Freddy. I think I spilled soda on myself. Curious her left without showing me her Halloween costume, but also, like, I think I might have been taking a nap. I got up, took a shower, and then laid back down with Smokey. But I wanted to see her Halloween costume. He does indeed have main character syndrome. But, you know, fair enough. I'm a narcissist myself. It's what you have to be in order to get up here and spew your fucking shit all over the internet day in and day out. But like self-awareness is so important. Self-awareness, kid. I wish you people could feel embarrassment. I might have to break out the bong. One more time. Because we're going to watch the video of this shit happening. It's apparently wild. A bridge in western India collapsed, killing at least 141 people. This comes a few days after the stampede in Seoul, South Korea, that killed about 150 people. Oh! More than 400 people were on the suspension bridge over the Machu River.
दीपावली की छुट्टी हुई थी बच्चों लोगों के और जो भी घूमने के लिए यहाँ पर आए हुए थे.
Many children were enjoying holidays. All of them fell one on top of another. Several criminal cases have been filed over the incident and an investigation is underway. The bridge was built during British rule in the 19th century. It had reopened last week after 6 months of renovations. Two teams are still searching the river for survivors. So, fucking, do you want to watch it one more time? One more. Praelio, good evening. Lenny, my friend, good evening. Killing at least 141 people. They are still searching. That is insane video. Moving over, speaking of the British. Speaking of British rule. This is from the Express, not the most reliable publication. This is rumored, but I'm laughing about it. We're gonna cover it. But once again, this is a rumor going on. Deeply unhappy. Tory MPs are drafting letters of no confidence after a Sunak cabinet purge. Rishi Sunak has only been the Prime Minister of UK for a week. A little over a week. Prime Minister has only been in 10 Downing Street for less than a week. Less than a week. Fuck, it was yesterday, or I mean it was Tuesday. God damn. He's already facing his first leadership nightmare. We watched the MP's questions the other day. If you didn't get a chance to see that, it is on the YouTube. Oh my God, yes, you would think they would hold an election. But just like if Republicans had the power to call an election or not, and they were deeply unpopular, the conservatives, the Tories, aren't going to call an election because they would lose. Rishi Sunak is facing a major crisis with deeply unhappy Conservative Party MPs already preparing letters of no confidence in the Prime Minister, led by a furious backlash over his massive cabinet reshuffle. Boris Johnson announced last Sunday night. Okay, that goes back through the series of events that led to Sunak being made Prime Minister Tuesday. And his first Prime Minister's question was on Wednesday. The reshuffle was more akin to Nightmare on Elm Street than Downing Street, with a clear out of Brexiteers, the 2019 intake, and many from the Tory right. Sounds positive to me. The warlord, who is wanting to change the topic, apparently, being a Sunak supporter. When are they breaking out the lettuce? When are we getting a lettuce? I will believe that Sunak will be stepping down as Prime Minister whenever we get a head of lettuce. And this, I've learned my lesson this time. I'm betting on the lettuce. I had questions about the lettuce last time. I had questions about the humidity and the temperature of the room as to how long the lettuce could last. I think my take on it was that if the lettuce could have survived that week, or if Truss had survived that week, she would outlast the lettuce, because I didn't think the lettuce would last longer than what, like, it had been up for like a week and a half. I didn't think the lettuce could last longer than another week. But I was wrong. Truss did not outlast the lettuce. The lettuce won, and I guess we're going to get lettuce again. I do believe it was iceberg last time. I don't know, man. People get a taste for power, and because, like, Joe Biden should retire 20 years ago, but people get a taste for power. They go on far too fucking long. I don't know what's gonna go on. What's this shit that Kevin F7? Thank you for the sub. You snuck in here. I didn't even know that you were a Lenny gave the gift sub. Hell yeah, thank you, Lenny. Kevin F7 getting a gift sub. I was like, I didn't even know you were a freaking follower, but thank you. Fuck yeah. Appreciate you, Lenny. Oh, I was gonna see what the fuck is Warlord talking about over here. Brazilian truckers, are they having a convoy? Are they doing a convoy because of Lula? Can I translate this? Translate tweet, yes. The movement of truck drivers is very strong. There are more than 200 points in Brazil closed. Kevin F7. You are a lurker, but I appreciate you being here. Ain't nothing wrong with lurking. So apparently we got us a convoy of sorts. I don't know that the trucks are actually part of this. The movement of truck. Well, it says the movement of truck drivers. So we don't really have context, but hey, that's what a football celebration looks like in some countries. In this country. So not necessarily going to throw that up as some big protest movement is going on just yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Love the horn. The horn was awesome. Oh shit. I would not want to go to a soccer. I wouldn't want to go to a I wouldn't want to go to a soccer game pretty much anywhere. Like, fucking get your ass beat in the UK, you get your ass beat in India, you get trampled to death in many of these fucking... Fuck, no. Soccer is a dangerous sport, apparently. Moving back to the U.S. and the ongoing deliberations in the Supreme Court, conservative justices question affirmative action as Supreme Court takes up the case.
Affirmative action is on the line at colleges and universities across the country. The Supreme Court justices heard arguments in two pivotal cases from Harvard and the...
Yeah, oh my God. Apparently that was earlier today, but, like, Lula won the election. So, like, all we have to go on is that translated tweet. That could have been, like, a celebration. The word seems to be this, like, fascist blocking the roads. That's what I gathered from the translated tweet. I don't know if the truckers were participating in the protest. But for those of you listening to the podcast, it was like a tire fire and barricades just in the middle of the road. And there were about 200 trucks on each side. Truckers are right-wing fascists in Brazil. I don't know this. This was Merkin speculating in the chat. Also, welcome, Merkin. Ray, if I didn't say hey to you earlier, good evening, my friend. So I know a lot of truck drivers that are right-wing fascists, but you would think they're working people. I was on Democracy Now! This morning. Hell yeah. Okay, thank you, Mergen. We'll try to find more information for tomorrow's show. Go back to the Supreme Court where the justices are taking up an affirmative action case.
Affirmative action is on the line at colleges and universities across the country. The Supreme Court justices heard arguments in two pivotal cases from Harvard and the University of North Carolina, and both schools consider race among other factors when admitting students. Now, in the last 20 years, the Supreme Court has upheld affirmative action twice, most recently in 2016, but the court's new solidly conservative majority could lead to a new ruling. The Supreme Court is expected to make a decision next spring. 9 states already prohibit any consideration of race in admissions to public colleges and universities.
This is a tough one because there are arguments for and against it. What's weird to me was that apparently Justice Alito and the weird thing is, like, the Harvard case is about discrimination against Asian students. But I mean, the thing, when I hear people talk about affirmative action, I feel like it's usually coming from a place of racism, and I don't like that. And like, if you're talking about the merits of students being there, and it's not, and you're not motivated by a racism, why wouldn't you have more of a problem with legacy students than the idea that, like, we have discriminated against this African American community for so long that we need to admit more of them in order to level the playing field? They do. They have several election cases they're going to be taking up. This Supreme Court term is insanely pivotal. Alito appeared to reference Elizabeth Warren when he asked about family lore on Native American ancestry during Supreme Court affirmation action case. Also, as long as we're on the subject, I've meant to say this because I did a little blip about Sasheen Littlefeather passing away a few weeks ago. She was the one that like Marlon Brando sent her to decline the Oscar and give a speech about representation in Hollywood. Apparently, her siblings have come out and come on record and said she's not Native American. So just wanted to point that out since we did do that story and I always like to, correct things. I read that the other day. Her siblings came out and said she's not a Native American. Samuel Alito appeared to reference Senator Elizabeth Warren during the Supreme Court's affirmative action case. Oral arguments began on Monday in a case to determine whether colleges can continue to take race into consideration in the admissions process. Alito asked North Carolina Solicitor General Ryan Park, who is defending affirmative action policies at the University of North Carolina, what is preventing students from claiming heritage they don't have. If it's family lore that we have an ancestor who was an American Indian. Park agreed that in that instance, it would not make sense for a student to say they are of American Indian heritage. Alito replied, I identify as an American Indian because I've always been told that some ancestor back in the old days was American Indian. Park conceded, agreeing that it is unlikely that the student was telling the truth. It's this article says Alito appeared to be referencing Warren, who identified herself as an American Indian on a Texas registration card. But I'm not so sure, just by reading the quotes, I'm not so sure that he was referencing Warren, because that's a very common thing. People claiming native ancestry is insanely common. It's just and it's usually not true when people claim it, so I don't know. I think maybe this is journalism looking for a story that's not really there, just because they have to churn out content all the time. And on the flip, like, would I have read that story if it was? Yeah, I would have, because I did read it before we did the Elizabeth Warren thing. If it didn't have the salacious, would other people have read it if it didn't have the thing about Elizabeth Warren and know that the Supreme Court would? Like, is there an argument to be made for a clickbait headline like that in order to educate people? I don't know. I'm conflicted. Trump has asked the Supreme Court to keep his taxes secret after lower court ordered him to turn over the records. Mom, I do the news and your mom. Trump lawyers asked the Supreme Court to block Congress from obtaining years of his personal taxes. A federal appeals court panel cleared the way in August for the House Ways and Means Committee to get Trump's taxes. In their Supreme Court filing, Trump's lawyers accused lawmakers of trying to expose his financial information for the sake of exposure. Trump filed an emergency application asking the nation's highest court to issue an emergency stay of a D.C. federal appeals court ruling ordering the former president to turn his tax records over to Congress. In the filing, Trump accused lawmakers of trying to expose his tax information to the public. The committee's purpose in requesting the president's tax returns has nothing to do with funding or staffing issues at the IRS and everything to do with releasing the president's tax information to the public, the filing said. The Washington, D.C. Federal Appeals Court panel in August cleared the way for the House committee to obtain Trump's taxes after years of back and forth between the committee and Trump's lawyers. D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals Judge David B. Santelli wrote that House Democrats' request for Trump's returns did not violate separation of powers principles, and that lawmakers on the powerful House and Ways and Means Committee have a legitimate reason to obtain the returns in order to better monitor the IRS's policy of auditing sitting presidents. Guy comment, did I tell you good evening? So glad to have you here. Just like with the Sunak story from earlier, I'm also going to preface this one by saying this is rumor. This is rumor. This is rumor. We're reading from Alternet, but they are going to cite The Hill, because I actually read this one before I pulled it up. Sources say that a Trump indictment is expected weeks after the midterms. This isn't liberal copium here either. Republican aides on Capitol Hill, GOP strategists, are expecting the U.S. Department of Justice to indict Donald Trump within weeks or months of the November election, which is just 8 days away. Some are warning that if that is the plan, it should be sooner rather than later. Former top Trump advisor Steve Bannon claims if the former president is indicted, DOJ will be defunded immediately and Garland could face impeachment. The Hill reports those Republican aides and strategists privately expect Attorney General Merrick Garland to pursue an indictment of former President Trump within 60 to 90 days after Election Day, predicting the window for prosecuting Trump will close once the 2024 presidential campaign gains momentum. A couple of weeks after the election, I assume that Garland will indict Trump, an unnamed veteran Republican aide told The Hill, a right-leaning website, which, now I will say that media bias ranks them as center. And their reporting as factual, however they rank their opinions as mixed. But it calls them a right-leaning website, which adds that they were expressing a sentiment shared by several other GOP aides and strategists. I would call them a right-leaning website, however, media bias says they're center. One strategist identified as Vin Weber told The Hill, I think an indictment is a bad idea, but I think that Garland is under such political pressure by the Democratic left that it may well happen. Wow. Justin is expecting to have to shave his head. The way the DOJ is posturing makes me think they're going to indict him. I believe that, like, he has given them no other choice. And the thing that's going to be wild about this is, should they indict him, he will be given the option to come in and surrender with his attorneys, not have handcuffs put on him. Absolutely. They will afford him every opportunity to come in, do his booking photo in a suit and everything, and not be treated like a criminal. I don't think Trump is going to comply with that. Even if he has every lawyer around him saying, like, we need to go with you and turn yourself in to the DOJ, and then you await trial and you have to post bail, I don't think Trump will do it. So what happens when we get to the point that the DOJ has to go in and arrest him and take him in? You're welcome, Phoebe. And for the mods in the chat, bang Phoebe, please. Don't bang Phoebe. Bang Phoebe is the command to shout her out.
You live in sexual anarchy?
Sorry. That came out wrong. Exclamation point, Phoebe. That would be fun. That would be fun to watch them drag him out. Is he going to give them the option? Force them that is their only option. A lot of banging going on in the chat right now.
You live in sexual anarchy?
On far right-wing social media site Getter, convicted criminal Steve Bannon. He's going to have to serve his sentence here in a couple of weeks. Threatened that if the Department of Justice does indict his former boss, it will be defunded immediately. Two action items. The bombastic far-right extremist and purveyor of conspiracy theories told supporters. The DOJ, like, why don't we have a fucking video for this? Come on. Hold on. You know it's on the Twitter. You know this clip is on Twitter. Also, if any of you have seen me follow you, it is indeed me. You can follow me back. It is me. I've created a temporary Twitter account until Elon gives me my account back.
Oh, yeah.
Tickle my blue sea. Well, that's fucking shit. Okay, so tickle my blue sea, my friend. It's weird that you say all I can think about is Trump when, like, we barely talk about Trump. I mean, he forces us to have to talk about him. But like in terms of the percentage of Trump that we cover on this show, I usually go about 3 hours a night, and here lately it has been, you know, a 10-15 minute block of the show probably. For a good chunk after January 6th died down, you know, but once we get into like the fall of 2021, we barely mentioned Trump. And I've even, so when I started doing thumbnails for the live show and shit. Where's the last one? I was lazy today. I didn't make a live show thumbnail. See, even for the thumbnail, I just have Trump like he's always there in the shadows. Like he looms over our politics, but I try not to acknowledge him. This show is definitely not the liberal copium of talking about Trump all the time. We just cover what is in the news, and Trump happens to be in the news a lot because he wants to be in the news. You realize that, right? Like you can't fault me for like the clown is over here like, hey everybody, look at me. I'm trying to get everybody look at me, look at me, look at me. And then when I acknowledge it for a few minutes, be like, oh, lib turd, you can't keep your mind off Trump. It's a weird position to take.
Oh, yeah.
Blood T4RT3. Good evening, everyone. 990. What is up, my friend? Did they censor themselves saying fuck? So that explains our position on Trump around here. Also, like I really like watching Steve Bannon clips. I would really like to get him saying the whatever clip we were. Be October or something. Well, I'd have to dig for it. We'll move on. I forget what he even said. Oh, the Department of Justice would be defunded immediately. It's gonna be a weird one to pull out. What? Well, yeah, Professor Q, I'm stumped too.
I was on crack.
You on crack, buddy? You on crack, buddy? Here's a funny one. An oath keeper during his trial for January 6th basically cried for his mommy. Said he cried for his mommy after realizing what he had done. A former oath keeper testified he was in freak out mode and scared after January 6th. I'm going to have to tell my mom, he said. Wearing a tactical helmet and vest, Oath Keepers member Graydon Young felt like the United States was on the cusp of revolution on January 6, 2021, when he heard that the pro-Trump mob had breached the Capitol. I felt it as like a Bastille-type moment in history. Young recalled on Mondays he testified at trial against Oath Keepers founder Elmer Stewart Rhodes and other members of the far-right group charged with seditious conspiracy. Unfortunately for me, at the time, it was exhilarating. But joined by his sister inside the Capitol, Young soon grew concerned about his own legal exposure and the Oath Keepers' intentions as members discussed the protective gear worn by police officers and whether it would prove effective against firearms. Young drove with his sister to her home in North Carolina and, in a backyard burn pit, scorched protective gear and an Oath Keepers t-shirt he had worn that day, he said on Monday. So he incinerated evidence. My sister and I were solidly in freak-out mode and scared, he testified. Another thought occurred to him. He said, I'm going to have to tell my mom. A family member that arms themselves and storms the Capitol is a family member that serves time to get... I actually have a freaking news from like a couple of weeks back about a family that was sentenced in the January 6th riot. A whole family. A whole fucking family. So the chat is getting lively tonight. I do want to say phone lines are open. You can call in at 917-830-4359. Also have a Discord. You can hit bang Discord. You can hit bang phone. Tell you how to get to either of them. The links are in the description as well. So if somebody wants to have a chit chat, not a debate, we can just have a chit chat. You can totally do that here on this Halloween edition. If not, here's what we're going to talk about. Charlie Kirk wants to bail out Nancy Pelosi's attacker. I got video of that. Miami Herald is reporting that Florida is trying to make it easier to arrest voters. An update on the story we did about a week ago where they did these roundups and the people had no clue what they were being arrested for. We got more video and it's heartbreaking. Doug Bolduc in New Hampshire, which on Wednesday we're going to be watching the Bolduc Maggie Hassan debate for the Senate seat in New Hampshire. That is a pivotal seat. Bolduc, the Republican challenger, Hassan, the incumbent Democrat. It is essential for the Democrats to hold on to that seat to remain in charge of the Senate. Bolduc is a fucking nut job. So Wednesday night, that debate should be a lot of fun. Why do I say he's a nut job? Well, he believes in the litter box hoax. We got some news saying that these polls that you're seeing putting Republicans in the lead might not be what they seem. They may be a trick being played by Republicans. We'll listen to what they have to say. A TikToker tracked down an attacker. Someone who attacked an indigenous woman. A TikToker helped track him down. We got fantastic video of that. Plus, at the end of the show, we're gonna see pets in costumes because it's Halloween. We're gonna watch pets in costumes for a while. And then after the Troll Patrol goes off, after we finish doing news, I'm gonna do Five Nights at Freddy's. We're gonna stream some spooky video games because it's Halloween. All that and more on the other side of the break here on the Troll Patrol live.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception, conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable.
I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News.
Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Now we turn to YouTuber Justin FREAKIN. The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the culture. Uncensored and unfiltered political talk and debate from a leftist perspective. The day's top news stories and videos with astute social commentary.
Not high enough for this shit.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked sick aesthetic.
Right-wingers are morons.
You brought back the wrong kind of fucking cake, you idiot.
Guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to Justin FREAKIN.
Yet you're like, we'll pray for somebody. You think you can telepathically communicate with a deity, and you have the audacity to say somebody else has a mental disorder. For the love of God. Did somebody in the chat get timed out? What is it, soda? Maybe the man wanted a soda.
Come on, man.
Somebody bring that man a fucking soda. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Blood Turtle 3? Happy Halloween, though. Been a wild night. I'm sure yesterday was a wild night, or last night was a wild night for the Pelosi's. The night before, I don't remember when it happened.
Out to the latest on the violent attack on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband in their San Francisco
The days just kind of run together.
Still in the hospital today after undergoing surgery for a fractured skull. Meanwhile, charges have now been filed against the suspect. The suspect, who police say violently bludgeoned House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer inside their San Francisco home, now facing federal.
Okay, I didn't know it was that serious. Wow. I figured, they got him off of him relatively fast and he didn't do any damage, but apparently. Like, it is a very serious matter with Paul Pelosi.
The suspect, who police say violently bludgeoned House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer inside their San Francisco home, now facing federal charges. The Department of Justice charging David DePape with one count of assault of an immediate family member of a United States official and one count of attempted kidnapping of a U.S. official. The district attorney
He's still in the hospital.
Another set of criminal charges.
This was a targeted act on the Pelosi home, for sure.
Law enforcement officials telling ABC News the suspect, David DePape, had zip ties and duct tape with him as he broke into Pelosi's home, calling out, "Where's Nancy?" in search of the House Speaker, who was in D.C. at the time.
I just heard attacked with a hammer. I didn't know he smacked him in the fucking head.
That, quote, if Nancy were to tell him the truth, he would let her go. If she lied, he was going to break her kneecaps, explaining to investigators that he viewed Nancy as the leader of the pack of lies told by the Democratic Party, and by breaking her kneecaps, she would then have to be wheeled into Congress, which would show other members there were consequences to actions. Our sister station, KGO-TV,
That's fucked up.
obtaining this phone interview with a woman who was in a long-time relationship with DePape, now in prison herself for attempted abduction, not related to the Pelosi incident.
He is mentally ill. He's been mentally ill for a long time.
RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is.
Police arriving that night within 2 minutes. They say when they ordered DePape to drop the hammer, he hit Pelosi at least twice, fracturing his skull. Speaker Pelosi issuing a statement saying her family is heartbroken. Authorities are now combing through the suspect's social media pages. Some allegedly show multiple false conspiracy theories about COVID-19, the 2020 election, and the federal
Makes sense.
The attack highlights the growing hostility toward members of Congress, with threats at an all-time high, more than doubling since 2017. A joint FBI Homeland Security's bulletin has now been sent to police nationwide, warning of a heightened threat by lone wolves.
that sucks. And what really sucks is, like, Charlie Kirk is wanting to get a bail fund together to get that guy out of jail. I don't think that's going to happen. He's on federal charges now, but Charlie Kirk on his show actually said that.
I mean, I'm looking at Politico.com. I'm looking at the New York Times. I'm looking at all these places, and there's a little bit of mention here. For example, Politico says top Republicans reject any link between GOP rhetoric and Paul Pelosi assault. Of course you should reject any link. Why is the Republican Party, why is the conservative movement to blame for gay schizophrenic nudists that are hemp jewelry makers breaking into somebody's home, or maybe not breaking into somebody's home? Why are we to blame for that exactly? And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out and then go ask him some questions.
Charlie's an idiot.
I wonder what his bail is. They're going after him with attempted.
They're throwing the book at him. His bail's probably only $30,000, $40,000. Charlie Kirk is an idiot.
Murder, political assassination, all this sort of stuff. I'm not qualifying it. I think it's awful. It's not right. But why is it that in Chicago you're able to commit murder and be out the next day? Why is it that you're able to trespass, second-degree murder, arson, threat of public official?
That's not true. I highly doubt you can go to Chicago, commit murder, and be out the next day. Maybe if you're fucking rich. Maybe if you're fucking rich. But I mean, like, they held O.J. Simpson in jail without bail. So, I mean, but he did try to run, too. If he didn't try to run, they probably wouldn't have held him in jail. Maybe if you're fucking rich, you can go to Chicago and murder somebody and be out the next day. What in the hell is he smoking?
Cashless bail. This happens all over San Francisco, but if you go after the Pelosi's, oh, you're let out immediately.
This is a goddamn fantasy world, and people actually listen to this asshole and take him seriously.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Everything about what he just said was completely wrong. Off the rails, batshit fucking crazy. Oh. In Florida, I assume it's the DeSantis administration. It is definitely the GOP moving to make it easier to arrest voters. Yeah. After DeSantis touts voter fraud arrest, Florida adds voting clauses to probation form. So these are some of the voters that were arrested. This might be from the original sting we looked at the other day, but this is a different video.
Flagged me down and asked me if I'm Robert Simpson. And I followed everything they said, and then they put me in a vehicle and took me into the Palm Beach County Jail. And
To recap, these are convicted felons that have had their right to vote restored, but had some technicality that did prevent, because there's a whole bunch of loopholes to the felons having their, like, you can't have been a violent criminal, you can't be a sex offender, shit like that. So these people were approached by an organization and told that they were able to vote. A lot of their charges have already been dropped because prosecutors said, like, they didn't maliciously vote, right? Like, they were told by an organization, a shady organization, that they could vote, that they were targeted specifically, probably for this campaign now.
that afternoon I got in and I read the article what they said DeSantis had put in arrested 20 people in the area.
DeSantis.
That's when I I knew everything was going on. Maybe sometime 2018, 19, I've seen a lot of articles on the news and saying they're getting the felon the right to vote. So one afternoon, I was driving through Pahokee, Florida, and I seen signs up there for felons to ready to vote. And so I went in and I was able to sign up. Maybe about a month or so after that, I got my voting card and everything in the mail. I got my voting card, you know, and I didn't make it. I didn't write it. I didn't docket this. I didn't make a false card to go in there and vote. And so.
Yep, he was told he could vote.
You know, everything come to me legal, so I think I followed everything legal. You get no justice in there, so you know when you come out, you know, voting rights mean a lot of privilege to you.
I didn't think I was breaking the law because if I voted and didn't know there are certain charges you're not allowed to have that wouldn't allow you to vote. So if y'all had told me that, I wouldn't even vote if I'd have known what the charges were that wouldn't allow me to vote. I wouldn't have voted, period. I was just so happy just that we could vote. When I seen that, convicted felon boys.
Everyone locked up should be allowed to vote.
But wait a minute, that ain't no excuse though. There ain't no excuse for once you sent me this, y'all supposed to did y'all background to see was I able to vote. If I ain't able to vote, you want supposed to send me the voter's registration card. And then come 2 years later and pick me up 2 years later. I got my life together. That was like a damn embarrassment to me.
Yep.
And they got the chain running through the handcuff, like you on the chain gang. So what pissed me off when I got to the jailhouse, I ain't been to prison in damn near 18, 19 years. I'm damn near a law-abiding citizen again. I've been out 19 years. Cause I'm like looking at it like, I understand with the prison system, when they let you out of prison, they don't shut the gates. Why? Because they feel like when you come back to society, if things don't go right for you the way you want it, you'll go back to the stuff that you was doing. Cause I proved them wrong. I'm not going back to nobody's prison system. I came home 2004, had 2 twin boys, they 14. Now I got a 6-year-old. I'm doing wonderful. That's Jim. And I got mad. With her one time. I came home.
Dude got fucked over. A week after Governor Ron DeSantis announced the arrest of 20 people for alleged voter fraud, his administration quietly made a change that some say could help the state go after more people. Starting in August, Floridians on probation have been required to sign an updated form, placing the burden on them to determine if they're eligible to vote. Which is how they've been getting out of, getting prosecuted for this bullshit. Because they didn't know. They were approached. Beneath warnings about remaining drug-free and reporting to their probation officers this new message, by signing this letter, the updated form states you agree that you are solely responsible for determining if you are legally able to register to vote, and that you must solely determine if you are lawfully qualified to vote. Wow. Fuck you, Ron DeSantis. God, they're so slimy. On Wednesday night, we're going to have our final debate of the season. It is a U.S. Senate debate between Doug Bullock, the Republican challenger who is batshit fucking crazy, Maggie Hassan, the Democratic incumbent in New Hampshire. GOP's New Hampshire Senate nominee repeats hoax that kids are using litter boxes in schools. Because of course he did. Spoiler alert, this is completely 100% false. There are no litter boxes in schools for kids identifying as cats. That's not a thing.
Fuzzies and furries is what he called it, saying that kids in...
Fuzzies and furries. Fuzzies and furries.
You live in sexual anarchy?
The classroom are identifying as cats and using litter boxes. Bullock is, obviously the Senate nominee in New Hampshire. This is a close race. He's a former Army general. So this isn't just, some guy on the street. This claim, has been going around. I'm sure some of our viewers have seen it. There's not any validity to it. But it's been repeated. He said it on a campaign appearance on Thursday. And let's just take a listen to what exactly he said.
Putting litter boxes, right? Litter boxes for them. And let me ask this. These are the same people that are concerned about spreading germs, yet they let children lick themselves and then touch everything. And they're starting to lick each other.
The children are licking each other, ladies and gentlemen, and they're going up against they're like rubbing up against tables and shit, getting their sin on everything. Oh my god. I hate it here. Right-wingers are absolute morons. Let's hear that one more time. I can't believe I'm having to hear this from a Senate candidate.
They're putting litter boxes, right? Litter boxes for them. And let me ask this. These are the same people that are concerned about spreading germs, yet they let children lick themselves and then touch everything. And they're starting to lick each other.
So he's not the.
And then they're starting to lick each other. What has the world come to? I'm stunned. I'm fucking stunned.
The only candidate in the country who has actually been saying this. In both Minnesota and Colorado, the nominees for governor in those states, the Republican candidates, have themselves spread the claim. This has been repeatedly shot down by fact checkers, by news organizations.
By the Board of Education, the school that he was talking about.
There's been, dozens, maybe even hundreds of school districts across the country who have had to come out and say, no, we are not putting litter boxes into the bathrooms for children who identify as cats. We reached out to his campaign. We asked them on Friday and then again on Saturday for any evidence they've seen about litter boxes in schools, letting them know we were going to do this story, and we did not hear back.
Well, CNN is fake news. He's a retired Army Brigadier General. Challenging Democratic Senator Maggie Hassan. Made the comments while speaking to supporters in Northampton. Furries and fuzzies in the classroom. Oh. They have it rated as tilt Democrat right now. I did think Maggie Hassan was slightly in the lead in the polls. But when it comes to polls, we got to take those with a grain of salt because apparently Republicans are flooding the media with all these polls favoring Republicans, skewing the polling average. Political expert tells media to stop getting played by Republican polling averages flooding the zone, which makes a lot of sense. And if they want to depress the vote, that would be something they would do. Two major sources of the political rankings include Real Clear Politics and 538, both of whom average out public polls done for campaigns. According to Democratic political expert Simon Rosenberg, the polls they're pulling in to generate those averages are leaning more Republican, leading to averages to be skewed more conservative. And it could also be a fact of the polls were slightly off in favor of Republicans in 2016, and they overcompensated since. That is possible.
Tom Bonnier, CEO of Target Smart, also joining us at the moment. Hey, Terrence, let's kick it off.
Terrence, let's kick it off.
Kick it off with what Shaq was reporting. Early voting, according to NBC News, we have about 22 million in so far in early voting. How big of a deal will it be this election? Clearly, 2020 was a big deal.
Yeah, that's right. You know, this is an unprecedented election, and we've been measuring or setting expectations based on precedent of what happens when the governing party loses seats in the midterm election. But the truth is, this is just unprecedented. The surge in 2018 that changed the electorate, injected a lot of young people, a lot of people of color that continued in 2020, and we are seeing those same voters participating at extremely high levels in early voting, where records are being broken in turnout. We do see 13% higher turnout in early voting participation, but there is some lag amongst young voters nationally. Yeah. With one exception, that's what we're seeing in Georgia, where even young voters are exceeding their 2020 early vote turnout.
Yeah, really interesting here. You know, Tom, 70% of the votes that were cast in 2020, again, not in person, so this is an important consideration to make. And so far of that 22 million that we're talking about, according to NBC News, it's the majority is 65 or older. So it goes back to the youth vote that Terrence was bringing up.
Yeah, you know, so it's interesting. The early vote is older. In 2020, it was a little bit younger because of those pandemic changes, frankly, to the voting systems. But what we're seeing at this point, when you look at the polls, younger people are overwhelmingly say they're going to shift back to election day. You know, like you said, over 100 million people voted before election day. It's not going to be that high. It'll still be very high. But the people who are most likely to shift back to election day voting are those younger people. So Democrats are certainly looking at the early vote, feeling good about it, but also counting on the youth vote to come out big on election day.
And who will surprise who, R or D, right? Florida Senator Rick Scott predicting a rude awakening for Democrats this morning on ABC. Here's his take on the state of the midterms. Take a listen.
Yeah, I don't want to hear from Skeletor. Good thing that cut off there. So Mock saying the Dems are still going to lose one or two seats. What races? I don't know what races they're going to lose. I saw Weigel on Majority Report on what, Friday? Oh yeah, that's what you said. I don't know what I don't see Mark Kelly losing. I don't see Warnock losing. Let's wait until we see the debate on Wednesday about New Hampshire before I really give an assessment. I heard Adam Laxalt in Nevada speak. I wasn't impressed, but Cortez Masto is also not not the best of candidates. When we watched the Colorado debate, Michael Bennett actually impressed me with how good he performed. Tim Ryan, I thought, did an excellent job against J.D. Vance. So I don't see Fetterman losing in Pennsylvania, even with every fucking what did that say? The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that a Democratic state house candidate in Pennsylvania was allegedly brutally assaulted in his own backyard after a series of threatening incidents that led him to suspect he is being politically targeted. Democrat Richard Ringer said he was bloodied and knocked unconscious by an attacker in his backyard at 5 a.m. Colorado is different. It is a very progressive state. It has pockets of batshit crazy, as you see from Lauren Boebert. It's got the rural areas that are conservative, just like California does. But overall, Colorado is a pretty progressive state. And that's why I even said it when we started watching the debate. Like, the Republican's not going to talk like the Republican we've seen in other debates. He's going to be playing far more towards the center, and he did. Still with a little bit of that Trumpian flair, though. I don't know. I still see the Democrats picking up 2 seats in the Senate. At least. I think Mandela Barnes stands a good chance. Ron Johnson has kind of been floundering. And if it's right, if the polls are skewed towards Republicans, now it is a record high for midterms, as it looks like it will be. I don't see how the Democrats don't pick up the 2 or 3 seats. Just basing this on individual races, because we've watched even Beasley in North Carolina, and that's an open seat. Beasley is overperforming what she should be in North Carolina. So she stands a chance. I don't think people should write her off. She was a very conservative Democrat, but once again, this is North Carolina we're talking about. I believe it went for Obama one time in 2008, possibly again in 2014, but it's been trending in 2012, but it's been trending red. Boy, does it have pockets of right wing. It's a hotbed of right wing extremism. It's very evangelical. Here's a cool story I wanted to highlight. A TikToker apparently used his influence to track down a racist, homophobic suspect.
People of Ottawa, my apologies if I mispronounced that. I need your help. An Indigenous woman was walking through a park, I believe. A white woman saw her and didn't like the fact that she wasn't wearing a bra and thought that was justification to physically assault her.
Being on TikTok and building the following that I got, over time, people started reaching out to me a lot, asking for help with situations. And a lot of time, those situations are, something terrible.
You're famous for that fucking awesome beard.
They're left, trying to recover from it or seek some sort of justice from an injustice that was served their way. And that could be anything from like just being berated by someone in public for, with racial slurs, or, attacking them because they had a mask on, or, anything like that, road rage incidents, things of that nature. And a lot of times in those situations, we have a phone, we have a camera, people will record it, right? And then the person takes off. And a lot of times it seems the response from, say, law enforcement, for example, is, well, yeah, it's great that you have that video, but we don't know who that person is. And without knowing who it is, there's not a lot that we can do. The internet is kind of like one big small town. People in a small town, if you do something bad in a small town, everyone knows that you did it. It spreads very quickly. The internet is kind of like that. If you do something terrible on the East Coast, but you grew up on the West Coast and a video goes online and gets traction, gets interaction, people who went to high school with you will see it and will say, I know who that person is. They're this person. And then, so I've been able to help a lot of people sort of seek justice or get some sort of like closure even to a situation that's happened to them because of the actions of other people who have behaved very badly.
To the Ottawa police, what was she charged with exactly? She committed assault on camera. She tried to steal her phone. She chased her to a vehicle. She amassed a crowd. And she rammed her bike into her vehicle, causing damage. She vandalized it. Why wasn't she arrested? And why wouldn't you give that information to the victim?
There's quite a few situations where police weren't really involved prior to me doing a video, or had been sort of dismissive.
Well, because cops
and I can
suck.
understand where the police are coming from too. Like, again, if you don't know who someone is, there's not a lot that they can do about it. When that person then comes back and says, oh, the person who I have on video doing this thing that is clearly wrong is this person, and here's all the evidence that it is this person, it does make their job much easier, and it does put them in a position to go like, well, yeah, we're happy to
You're supposed to have detectives that detect things,
That kind of hate is unacceptable. If you live in that area or know people in that area, please share this video, and maybe we can give those guys a very special gift for Christmas.
There definitely is, some people who assume because of what I do that I am, that I do have some sort of like joy, or that I particularly like ruining people's lives, and I do not. In any way enjoy that. Like
Aren't you helping people?
Behaved better. So there has definitely been situations where people will make, will send threatening messages. It is the internet. People feel pretty confident to say terrible things on the internet and think there are no consequences for it. I'm kind of the evidence that there is consequences for what you do on those situations. Like, the idea of free speech is great. Free speech exists. The government can't come arrest you for things you say. Free speech is not making death threats or racial, homophobic slurs, etc., that constitute a hate crime, and then there being no consequences for that.
Good on this dude. So Michael McWhorter. I would assume he got famous on TikTok for that fucking beard, which is amazing. And then, of course, it's Halloween, so you get something like this. Pets in costumes, pets in costumes, pets in costumes. They're cruising. I don't know who they're supposed to be. Wait, did Sky come and put a curse on somebody? Oh. Curse you so your feet itch for 3 years. This applies to all of you in chat. Want to remove the curse? Go vote. Applies to all of you hearing this right now. If you may be watching a clip of Patrol Patrol later. He did the thing. He did like the dramatic reaction. That was fucking awesome. An itching curse. Oh my god, look how cute that is. He's a little lumberjack. He's a furry lumberjack. Hey, Doug Bulldog. Here's your fuzzies and furries. Oh, the shark fell over. Somebody jump it. Is that one of those kitties that doesn't like being dressed up in an outfit? I don't think a lot of these pets are very happy. Oh! He licked it though. That one seems alright. He likes a little lobster outfit, and he's riding on a Roomba. Speaking of lobsters.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
I'm sorry. I made you miss the hot dog and pretzel. Putting Jordy Pete on the screen. I like the hot dog one better than the pretzel. Got 2 pretzels stuck on him. Wait, they get cheesy poofs? I feel like I've seen that cat before. I feel like we have watched that video of that cat in that costume. Oh, it was carrots. I thought the puppies were getting cheesy poofs. Oh, that's adorable. I I do not have the sound up for copyright reasons, but I wonder if he was able to play. It didn't look like he was. It looked like he was just mashing keys. Oh, that's the cutest spider I've ever seen. We got like a kimono dragon with lizard wings. Pretzel dog. War machine. Good evening, my friend. Oh, we get this. Is that a little doe dressed up as a bee? Duckies or some geese or something. I don't even know what they're wearing. Dude, that is cute as shit. Are they? They're bribing that kitty with some sushi. You the black sheep? I love it when they got their little tails between their legs. Like they got a third leg. You got a tripod going on there, buddy. What did one of this dude? Look at this dude. He just cruised up on us. Oh, we got an Elton John puppy. That's cute as shit. Man, he just cruising. Yeah, there's 15 minutes of it, and I'm probably going to watch all 15 minutes. Oh, we got an ambulance. That's inventive. I like that. I like it. Props for creativity there. That duck does not look happy having that lobster, but then again, like, that kind of just looks like how ducks behave. Hey, you little pervert. Don't pull up its dress. Oh, it's going to tear its arm off.
You live in sexual anarchy?
I'm sorry. Are you a member of the Klan, sir? Don't like no sheets around here. Is that from like Star Wars or something? We've got several different farm animal types here. The farm animals were dressed up as exotic animals. Animals. Hey, Mr. Postman. You got a special delivery for me, buddy? Who's the best postman? Loves him some bike rides. Check him out. Those dudes out on safari? Find them a Yoshi egg? Oh, we got a Flintstone one. We got a Flintstone cat. We got a pirate cat. Ghostbusters cat. Another puppy is a spider. I crave violence. Oh, no, that's the coolest cat. Jesus. Same cat. He was doing a midsummer there. Now he's got his bat wings on. Look at those little devils. We need the angels on the other. Oh, no, those are unicorns. There we go. Gangsta cat. That's some sort of Asian culture thing with the cat waving. Not familiar. We got another spotted dog. That one might be the best spider outfit. He doesn't look uncomfortable. We got a puppy in a lizard costume, but he don't look like he's liking it very much. He wants it off. He is not digging the lizard head. That one Hook? Hook? A bunch of little tiger cubs. Aw, they're all sitting there for dinner. Maneki Neko, the beckoning cat. Hell yeah, thank you, Sky Comet. Is that a ferret? Is that a ferret? Or no, that's one of those other things. Oh, that puppers doesn't like that spider. Get it, buddy. Look at him high-stepping through the street. Oh, he looks so happy. He was a good boy. Painted him up as a zebra. He's like, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like this for? See it? Some dogs can't handle the embarrassment of being dressed up. Oh, he's got a little pail. Oh, he's getting him some treats. Oh, look how good he is. He's a good boy. Oh, we got a doctor getting ready to perform some open heart surgery here. He's got a human organ as denoted on his cooler. He got his stethoscope. He ready for Valentine's Day. We're still a few months away from Valentine's Day. Look at the little pumpkin. Well done. Got several ghost dogs. They really like dressing up in the sheets. I mean, like Maynard likes to get under the sheets too. Fat pup. Oh, he's been a bad boy. He's been locked up. He's a little aroused. That might be a little bit much here for the Twitch. I'm sorry about that. You guys deserve the content warning. They had to censor out the FedEx man earlier, but I guess UPS is okay. Big Brown won't sue you. He's ready for Easter. I mean, the video did just say costumes. It didn't say Halloween costumes. What? Was that a puppy or was that a miniature something or other? Got a pig in a ballet outfit. That's a guinea pig in a helicopter. I bet he's got a headache. I like the motif of like the iguanas and the kimono dragons being dressed up like dragons. I think that's an iguana. I don't know my lizards. Oh, this one's a piece of luggage. Oh, he changed into Super Dog. I'm upset. This has been a pretty human-free video. It's been all pets. I'm upset we had to see humans in this. We got this far into it. 13 and a half minutes before we saw some humans. Oh, that's adorable. Oh, wait a minute. We human baby. A baby kissed a puppy early on. I actually awed for that. He's a little worm. He's a little worm. That lion's mane on that puppers. It was a small wolf thing. It was only half a human. It doesn't count. Wasn't even half a human yet. It was like a fourth of a human. He's maybe 3, and he kissed that bulldog on the side of the cheek. It was sweet. Several puppers with the lion's manes. You sporting it well, buddy. It looks good on you. You can be king of the jungle. All right, this dude, he's ready for 4th of July, but it's clearly fall as there are fall leaves on the patio. Had to get yourself in the video. Human counts up to 3 now. So yeah. All right. I'll be back in a little while. We'll do some gaming for a bit. Spooky gaming for Halloween. Let me find you guys someone to raid into for right now. I'll be maybe a little bit, 15, 20, 30 minutes maybe. We'll see. Got here. Who's streaming on a Halloween? Squid is streaming on a Halloween. Let's go say hey. So I'll be back in a little bit. I gotta get out of this chair, says Ro. I'm sorry. Also, good evening. I don't know if I said hey to you earlier. Good evening, my friend. Go say hey to Squid real fast. I'll be back here in a little while. Matter of time. Whenever. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. Justin FREAKIN. We'll see you in just a little bit.